Did you ever notice the United States of America is shaped like one big giant toilet bowl? And the reason is because most Americans are just plain full of crap.
But why are we supporting a country, 200 billion plus a year? Our military is at their disposal. All of these other things, they should be a state.
So, needless to say, the U.S.-Canada relations are not very good at the moment. Therefore, the American flag is not flying during the national anthem of this game. And, of course, I think intellectual property from the United States is being stolen with impunity at this point. And I only say that because there's something very near and dear to me that's been stolen by Canada temporarily. I think they're just borrowing it, so don't get too mad at them.
Something bananas is happening at Spit Stadium. He's slippery, he's sneaky, and he's here to cause trouble one banana at a time. But this banana has met his match, and justice at Spit Stadium wears horns. Forget everything you know about baseball, this game is going to be different. Music, chaos, and a legacy worth dancing for. TCMM goes bananas, May 28th at Spit Stadium. Go to bullsbaseball.com for tickets.
So I was pretty excited when I heard about this, but unfortunately my passport's expired in 2016. I haven't been out of the country since probably 2011, to be honest. And direct flights to Lethbridge, Alberta, I keep wanting to say Ontario, no, they're in Alberta. Lethbridge, Alberta were not available, but I could fly to Calgary and rent a car and drive it down there, which is not too far of a drive. Speaking of driving, I did not have the time to take off immediately and head over there. Number one, I don't have a passport, and number two, that's 26 hours. So I did the next best thing and spent $10 and got the ability to subscribe to a Canadian live stream service that they had the game on. This is the only way I could watch the game. And those of you wondering about Ryan Kellogg, yeah, he's still trapped in Canada, can't get a visa, a working visa for some reason. So was he at this game? Well, let me play spoiler and tell you, no, he was not at this game, but he probably should have been, but truth be told, he probably didn't even know what was going on. So Lethbridge, Alberta has this nice, interesting rail trestle, something I would have definitely loved to see. It goes right over the Oldman River. It is super tall. I didn't remember the specs, but I would have loved this thing. I would have been fascinated by this thing. I would have definitely gone over there and been at the low level looking up at it, would have been at the high level looking across at it. Probably want to try to walk across it myself. It looks like it's a few miles long. It is ridiculously big. Anyway, Lethbridge, I've never heard of it before. Look at that interesting flag they have. They have about 106,000 people, so there's plenty of population there to fill up their stadium, but unfortunately, I don't think the marketing of the Bananaball game went all that well because this was the stands, and it didn't get much better behind home plate, but according to them, this was actually a good turnout, so I'm not sure what they're actually used to, but I think they should have filled the stands up, but I guess Western Canada doesn't know too much about Bananaball. So let's go ahead and go into the Unauthorized Canadian Bananaball highlight show. This is, of course, most of you did not see this game, and therefore I am probably your only source for highlights of this. It being a Bananaball game, we threw out some first bananas. Now the first two went well, the third one was an abject failure. But that's okay, that happens in first pitches sometimes. You can't really control everything. Anyways, this is the first inning. Now you'll notice we only have 7 on defense. That's because they are leaving out 2 spots for the guys that died about 10 years ago. I believe it was a car crash. Not 100% sure. Anyways, they beamed the first guy, and Taylor Swift's Shake It Off was playing. And then after they were done beating him, they went ahead and put the shortstop and second baseman back on the field. Now, you'll see on the screen the actual rules they played by. They did not have the rule against hitters stepping out of the box simply because these are baseball players. It's too ingrained in their psyche to step out of the box constantly. So they didn't enforce that, and they didn't enforce the ball four sprint because that would have been atrocious. Somebody would have made a throwing error. We probably would have had a home run off the thing. But other than that, we're playing normal Bananaball in every other regard. Basically, if you get if you score a run, more runs than the other team, you win that inning. The team that wins the most innings wins the game. Also, they didn't specify it at the beginning of the game, but I ascertained through watching the whole thing probably about 4 times to get these highlights that they did only play a 7-inning game. So there's only 7 innings in this game. Now, the two teams that are playing, you of course got the Lethbridge Bulls. They are the team in white, navy blue caps. They are a Western Canadian Baseball League team, a WBCL, I think, or WBCA. Can't remember what the league's called. Anyways, it's a collegiate summer wooden bat league. So basically, if you're in college, the college season ends, then you go over there to play ball in the summer, similar to the Cape Cod League and other leagues like this. And their opponent is the Vauxhall Academy. I think it's the Vauxhall Jets. They're supposed to be a baseball academy. Oh, we got technical difficulties. And they're made up of mostly college players. And, of course, this first inning went terrible. They scored 5 runs in this inning. And normally for baseball, which is a run accumulation sport, you'd pretty much just leave the stadium at this point. You have wasted your time even coming out to the stadium. This game is a stinker already. You turn your TV off. But because we're playing Bananaball, this is not going to affect the pitcher too much. So they are not going to be able to do any mound visits. Oh, the camera went and saw a UFO or something. Anyways, like I said, the quality of the broadcast was absolutely terrible. It's unfortunate, but we couldn't do anything about that. They decided to have a banana cream pie eating contest during this game. And eventually one of the players had to step in front of the table because this thing went on a little bit longer than they thought it was going to. And so somebody needed to defend these guys with a glove just in case something happened. But anyways, they had a pie eating contest. Whoever eats this pie the fastest wins. They got somebody from the crowd, one of the Bulls players, and one of the Vauxhall Jets players. But anyways, I don't know anything about Canadian baseball or Western Canadian Baseball Association or whatever is going on here. So this is all unknown to me. But what I am fascinated by is that they are playing the rules by a modified Bananaball rule. And they're playing it somewhat seriously, even if their skill level is not that impressive for the most part. It is a little low. You did see a bunch of errors in this game that otherwise should not have happened. But other than that, because it's played under Bananaball rules, it was actually a decent game. And so we had a few stolen first bases in this game. Now, I didn't go back and collect each one of those because I'm telling you, watching this broadcast did not help because that score bug up there, they did not update it once. And then they kept trying to get cute with the camera angles once they started figuring things out. But honestly, if you're going to be doing an amateur broadcast of baseball, I would much rather have the overhead shot that looks like I'm there instead of this pitcher view. This pitching view does nothing for me because you're not switching the camera fast enough. I can't see the ball movement. I can't keep track of it. I would much rather, if you're going to have a limited resource, just go ahead and give me the field overview view. And that's, let's see, about to have it any second now. We walked that guy. So yeah, just do this camera, but just zoom it out and keep it zoomed out. And I would much rather you do that and keep the score, the inning, and all that going. As long as I have that information, this view right here is perfectly fine. So anybody out there in baseball production, if you're balling on a budget and you don't have a lot of staff to get these things done, this is the perfect way to broadcast a game. But anyways, we saw Vauxhall get ahead. They won one inning, so it should be 1-0 at this point. And I believe there's been a couple of innings that the Bulls have come back and either neutralized the inning or 1-1 back. And so here we go. Let's see. Yeah, this is about the skill level you're dealing with here. So that was pretty much the whole game. It was kind of a little bit sloppy play like that, but this is their first game as a team. And eventually one inning we decided we were going to do a dance. Now, I mean, I could really have Bananaball without dancing. I really don't think it's that important of an aspect. I think if anybody were to do Bananaball without the entertainment, I think the sport would still work well. So we'll dance to another inning. There was a fielding error. We managed to tie up an inning and neutralize it. So now the game's tied. We got 1-1 at this point. And we went on to another. And eventually we would tie innings and we'd win an inning and they'd just walk it off just like you do in normal Bananaball. Here we have a throwing error, but this run was already scored, so we'll walk that off. That's the end of the inning. So let's go to the 6th inning. This is the second to last inning. They decided to use their golden batter, and they decided, of all people, they were going to substitute in their third base coach. So that's why he's wearing a jacket and looking kind of odd. So he's used to play for the team about 3 or 4 seasons ago and has now moved on to coaching. And so they're used to the golden batter with a man on third. 2 outs, he goes ahead and grounds right out to the second baseman. And that's the end of the inning. So let's go ahead and go to the final inning. We have Vauxhall at bat. They are going to go ahead and get a run in here. It mostly happened because there's a pass ball and they bring in their guy from third. who had gotten on third earlier through a series of stolen bases and collected hits and sacrifices. So we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Now, they don't think this guy has any power, so they all line up to stop him because they know this guy can't swing, but it doesn't matter because he gets walked anyways. And so we move on to the next batter to come up, and let's see. He gets beamed, so he's going to go to first as well. So now we got somebody at first, somebody at second. So the situation is looking better for the Bulls. All they got to do is tie this inning, and this game is pretty much over. Vauxhall already scored 1 run, so we're pretty much right now tied. I think it's a 2-1 game. If they don't score, then Vauxhall is going to have a tie game, and I'm not sure what the overtime format was going to be. They didn't say they were doing the showdown rule. It would have been interesting, but I don't think they had the capacity to do that. So anyways, 7th inning, we got a guy on third. The Bulls have a guy on third. And we're going to see, are they going to get this run? That is the question. And we got a hit, and does it fall? It falls. So that's it. That's the game. They have tied the inning, therefore they've won the game 2-1. So it's all over now. So it's time to get your teammates and celebrate. And overall, I would give you a sample of the commentary, but I'm telling you, it was just as bad as the viewing angles. I definitely hope Lethbridge does a game like this again. Now, obviously, it's basically stealing the Bananas trademark. But I think the game rules itself could be done without stealing from the Bananas too much. I mean, stealing first base, that was an Atlantic League rule. You could do other different things, like have 5 foul balls, you're out. That would probably work as a rule. And you could change the rules enough to where it's no longer Bananaball, but it's similar enough to it. And I think match-style games, I think there's definitely something there where, let's say you have both teams bat their normal order, but then you decide that the home team is going to bat the top of every even inning, and the away team is going to bat at the bottom of every even inning, and basically alternate it so that home team bats the bottom of odd innings, away team bats the bottom of even innings, and then your home field advantage is 5-4. And if you want to make it even, just do a 10-inning game. And that's different enough from Bananaball where it's similar enough you could have a fan base that likes it, but at the same time you're not stealing from their intellectual property. But I'm a person, I think, I love Bananaball, and I think there needs to be more of it and not less. And so I'm really happy they attempted this. Granted, they probably need more funding. They probably need more staff to make the video production to go really well. But I think the people in Savannah should be proud, because imitation is the highest form of flattery, and I'm really glad that somebody else has taken this up. I've heard rumors and reports that there have been other Bananaball games out there, but this is the first time I've seen a documented case where we have a Bananaball game done by somebody, sold to the general public as a Bananaball game, well, without the express written consent of the Savannah Bananas, but rather the implied oral consent. And, of course, if this was Major League Baseball, they'd be pitching a fit. But I think the people in Savannah should leave them alone somewhat. I think they'll do it right next time. I don't think they meant to infringe on your copyright. I just think they really appreciate what you guys have done for the game of baseball. And I think they want to continue doing it for themselves. Plus, let's face it, you're going to have a 6-team league next year. There's going to be, 180 total games if the schedule's correct and there's no surprise Challenger Series games or any superfluous added games that you add with different opponents. I think it's good for the sport that Jesse made. I think it's his best idea as the sport itself, to let other people try it and see what they can get out of it. I mean, it fixes everything wrong with baseball. This game would have been something you don't even bother watching if it was a normal baseball game. There had been no point, because the Vauxhall Academy would have won the game from the first inning on. It was a game they dominated by that score if it's a run accumulation game. But if you're doing it by who wins the most innings, then it becomes interesting. Then there's less pressure on the pitcher. I think everything about this just screams that we need more of this. And it doesn't matter who the source is, so just remember, these guys, they're not stealing from you all the way. They're just imitating, and I think they've done a great job. And I hope to see more attempts at stuff like this in the future, because I definitely like this new sport of Bananaball. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I hope we get more of it.